So I'm out on my porch recording, and I happened to look over towards the west and I saw this magnificent sunset. So I thought I would share that with all of you before I record the rest of my video. So isn't that pretty? This is why I sit on my porch at night. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so this is video 2, sitting out on my porch, which I just wanted to talk a little bit about things before it got dark. I want to talk a little bit about why I went in the first place. A lot of people ask me that. So how it worked was the National Funeral Directors Association asked for volunteers for the task force, and I said yes, I would do it. And they released our names to the funeral homes in New York City, and if any of them felt that they really needed help, they could call us, and then we would set up a time to come down and help. So that's how that played out. I did submit my name, and it was only maybe a few days later that I got a phone call from, I'm going to say this very carefully, an individual who operates a funeral home in New York City. And it did not take me long to realize what that person's end game was. So I went to New York City thinking that I was going to help that person, and by day 2 I realized that they didn't really want help at all. What they wanted was somebody to do the work for free. Normally that individual doesn't do any work. All they do is hire it out to other people. So if somebody dies, they call another person to come in and pick that person up from where they passed, and they call another person to potentially take them to the crematory or to, the cemetery. This particular person never actually gets involved in funerals, and rather than call that person a funeral director, I will refer to them as a body disposal service. So after the first day, when I got down there and I realized that I was never going to meet this person, it was only going to be over the phone as they gave me instructions on what they wanted me to do. And then when I realized what they wanted me to do, by day 2, I informed them I was no longer available to work for them. That was not the spirit of the program. But at the end of the day, what it did was introduce me to other folks who worked within that same facility. It was one central building where many funeral directors rented office space, and there was one central embalming room for all of them. So they shared the chapels and they shared the embalming space, and everybody else that worked in that building was absolutely fantastic and was the type of people that I wanted to go help. But the first person who originally called me there was not, and I think that was why there was a little bit of contention on the first day when I got there. I walked into the building and I told everybody who was physically present who it was that I was there to help, and they all gave me the side-eye look, like, really? You're gonna help this person? And they didn't really like me. They distrusted me because they thought I was helping that individual. By the second day, when I came back from taking care of a couple of people for that person, I told everybody there on all the different staffs of the different funeral home, I'm no longer working for him. I'm here. I'm going to work for you. So if you need me, please let me know what you need me to do. So that was a little bit eye-opening because it was just very distasteful. That was not the point of the volunteer program. And the fact that he took advantage of it in a pandemic made me really, really angry. So that particular person I would never, ever help again. And that is how my trip started. So it was, not what I expected when I first got there, but it ended up being okay in the end. So I think maybe that answers one of the major questions that people ask me is, why did you go in the first place and what was it like when you got there? So maybe that gives you a little bit more insight into why I went. So I have some more stories and I will record more videos, but I'm not going to do it tonight. So stay tuned and I will see what else I can tell you about. So thanks.